Hafa Day, Guam. I'm Colleen Nicholas Perez, the Deputy Public Affairs Officer for Joint Region Marianas.
Hafa Day, I'm Mark Cruz. I'm the Regional Environmental Coordinator for the Naval Facilities Engineering Command.
We're here in the village of Mangilao at the Department of Agriculture. And Mark, before we get started with our tour, I know that many of our friends and our families out there, they understand that NAFAC Marianas has lots to do with construction and contracts and engineering. But there's another element, is that correct?
Yeah, part of our mission at Naval Facilities Engineering Command is to ensure that the projects that we do and the military training that goes on protects the endangered species on our properties and throughout Guam. And we do that by ensuring the habitat that we work around is untouched during all these construction projects.
That's fantastic. And that's why we're here at the Department of Agriculture. We're going to see some of those endangered species. So let's go. With us now is Laura Duenas, the Department of Agriculture. Laura, thanks so much for having us.
No problem.
So Laura, what exactly goes on here at the Department of Agriculture?
Well, in my division, what we do is we take care of the wildlife, especially the endangered species that we have on island. And my job is basically to manage the captive breeding population of our Guam rail, also known as the cocoa, the kingfisher or the sihik, and the crow, the Marianas crow.
And there's some fanihis, right?
Yes, we have one fanihi in captivity here, but most of the time if people see them, we keep them out. We don't really take them in.
Okay, sounds great.
So can we see some of these guys?
Oh yeah, we have some that we use for educational purposes, so you guys be able to see and probably even hold some of them. Okay. This side over here is the captive breeding facility for the cocos. This is all their cages. As you can tell, they don't fly since they're all low to the ground. Yes. And so we have about 112 here in the holding pens. They're very territorial and aggressive towards each other. So it's one bird per cage.
Now there's a bird on Guam that looks similar to the cocoa.
Yeah, we actually get calls or sightings of a cocoa bird, and it turns out to be a cat or the yellow bittern. And so those guys, they have the long neck, the long beak, long legs, so they think it's a cocoa bird, but in actuality, those guys actually take off when they fly. And so once you see them fly, you're like, oh, nope, that's not a cocoa anymore. If you see them, if you go out to Rhoda or to Cocos and you see one of these guys, you'll notice it's them because of their white, it looks like they have the white eyebrows and their white stripes on their belly. And so that's really one of the best markers to tell if it's a cocoa bird or not, since not many other birds have that kind of coloring. This here is Tano.
Tano.
Yes, it's about 6 years old. It's one of the popular ones to take out since he's really nice, except for right now.
Spoke too soon.
Yeah, actually, we actually think he could think our fingers are worms or geckos. So these guys, out in the wild, they normally eat lizards, small insects, things like that. Yeah, so if you want, you can actually hold your hand out. Yeah.
He honors Mark?
Yes. He actually likes to be scratched. Most of them likes to be scratched around the around the neck.
Much. This is my first time to even get this close to a cocoa bird.
Yeah, normally when we do presentations, since there's so many kids, we do them at schools and stuff like that, people don't really have the chance to hold them since that would be too much stress on the animal. So, thank you, Tano.
Run away!
All right, see you later, buddy.
Okay. Thank you, baby.
Not the same one that's like in Hagania that attack people, right?
People think that the ones that they see around Guam, the blackbirds, are all the crows, but it's actually either the drongo or the sali too. And so these guys, the drongo, you can tell it's him because the tail is longer and it's forked at the end. And if he dive bombs you, there's usually a nest nearby, and that's the drongo that does that. And these guys, they're probably either one or none on Guam left, so most likely you aren't seeing them. This is the Micronesian kingfisher, known in Chamorro as a sea hick.
Sea hick.
Yeah. Okay. These guys, there's none in the wild, none released anywhere. The only ones we have are the 14 here in our holding population and in the zoos, so that makes it about 100 to 120 in the world.
It must take a lot of partnership and teamwork, amongst your colleagues to actually get to this point. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, it takes a lot of work for us, since it's not only, we have to pair them together, we have to make sure they're compatible genetically and physically. Sometimes the birds, we put them together and they just won't work out together. Constant monitoring that you just need everyone on board, because you're just going to get burned out if you're doing it all by yourself. These are our birds. Even though they're not the territorial birds like Coco, these are unique to only Guam. So to actually have this and be able to put the population back out there, be able to release them one day. Okay, whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, okay, close it up.
Get that on film?
So this is our first chick.
Can I just hold him?
How old is this chick?
This chick is 28 days old.
28 days old. And it looks like, the same color as an adult.
Yeah, as he grows up, the color would just darken, brighten up, become more pronounced on the head and the chest. This is everyone's, when they see this guy, they're like, ooh, it's the fruit bat. We've heard about him.
Well, I think the word bat.
Yeah.
So this is Mutong. He's a fruit bat. He's about 11 or 12 years old.
You guys don't call him Shakaka?
No, he's named for the way he smells.
Yeah, I guess for the viewers, you might want to translate his name.
Yeah, he's Mutong, he's stinky. He smells. And since he's a fruit bat, his smell comes from the fruit juices that when he eats it, it stays on his skin, and so it kind of smells like rotten fruit. He does bite, that's why people don't really get to hold him. But if you want, then you have him. You can touch him. I love to say he is velvety smooth.
He is very smooth.
Okay.
So you can possibly see these over at Taragi Beach up in Anderson.
Oh, that's really... I didn't expect that.
We've actually had reports of people seeing them fly around the island, so there's still some there.
They're still there.
Yeah, I think about 20 on island.
So there's still some out there.
There's still some out there, but we still have, we're still worried about people eating them, catching them.
I faced my fear. Thanks, Laura.
Our mission here is to get them back out into the wild, and if you guys remember them, if you guys, start thinking about what would help them out in Guam, don't litter. They might pick that up and eat it. Stray cats and dogs, things like that. Just remember them and keep them in your thoughts when you go about your day-to-day business, and Guam will be ready for them when we release them out.
Thank you so much for watching Guam, and stay tuned for more island images. Adios!